Good morning, everybody. It is Saturday morning. What is it, the 12th? I think it's the 12th of March. Welcome. And don't forget to use that comment section there, guys. Really important that you get involved. I'm telling you, it's going to make you so much more successful. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Hit that subscribe button down there. And don't forget the big thing, turn on all bell notifications so you're notified each and every time I go live or if I upload a new video. Man, I'm excited today. It's a beautiful day here in Texas. I don't know what it's like where you're at. Man, we got a lot to be grateful for. If you look around the world right now and the position you could be in versus the position you're in, wow, I feel very lucky. I hope you do too, and I hope you appreciate, because that, and I'm going to get into our three things today, but appreciating is really the key to happiness, guys. If you don't appreciate your situation, it doesn't matter what you have. It doesn't matter how much money you have or how much success you have. It doesn't matter if you can't learn to appreciate it. So please take a second, appreciate what you've got. There's always somebody off, that's worse off than you are. So appreciate what you got. Super important. Okay, today we're going to talk about the 3 essential Google Analytics that you have to track. If you do nothing else, and I know this stuff can get kind of complicated, but if you do nothing else, you got to track these 3 analytics. These 3 matter more than anything else, okay? And literally, if you just track these 3 and worked on these 3, you don't have to worry about anything else, okay? It'd be nice if you looked at all the analytics. It'd be nice if you used all the data, but you certainly cannot ignore these 3. So I'm going to go through them today. I'm going to show you where you can find them. I'm going to show you some examples of what they look like and how you can apply this to your site and how you can get good results too. So let's get started on that. Give me a thumbs up if you don't mind, guys. Hit that thumbs up there. It means so much to the channel. Thumbs up is a big thing. I don't know why, but it is. Google likes it. YouTube likes it. So give me that thumbs up. That'd be really helpful. And don't forget to use that chat box. I'm going to remind you. Some of you guys are really good about that. You really put some cool questions in there and comments. And don't worry about it if it's cool or not, okay? Just say something. Say hello. Say the temperature here is 41 or whatever the heck it is, but put something in that chat box. It helps the distribution of this video, and it helps you get involved. And when you get involved, you're going to be more successful. 100% of the time, this is true. So make sure you do that, okay? All right, so let's get right into these analytics. And I put a question in there, and I want you guys to answer it. I don't see people answering it, but question of the day is, do you have Google Analytics set up? Now, keep in mind, some of you are watching this live and some of you are not. Even if you're not watching this live, you can put those answers in that comment section right below the video. Google, matter of fact, they had some congressmen talking about this the other day, but they have more data. They've collected more data since they've been in business since the beginning of time. So they've got more data than any government office or anything. Google collects a massive amount of data about user traffic and behavior on your website, ranging everything from acquisition to who's viewing stuff to conversions. All that data is there. Now, while the amount of data you get is amazing, you don't need to track every single thing, okay? Just because they track it and just because they have it, it doesn't mean you need to. Trying to do so will send you down a rabbit hole, okay, with really no benefit to it. There's just not going to be a benefit. So there's only 3 that you really have to worry about and track the growth over time. But first, I want to make sure that we're on the same page about what a metric is. Metrics are quantitative measurements that tell you how some aspect, and I'm trying to find my mouse here. I don't have my mouse. Okay, I hope you don't mind, guys, if I reach here. I don't have my mouse today. But they're measurements that tell you some aspect of your website performance. An example would be like the number of times a particular page was viewed or how many times a video was watched on your website. That would be a metric. It's also important to note that metrics are different from dimensions, okay? So think about this for a second. Dimensions are what your metrics are measured against. Metrics are the actual measurement. This means instead of just measuring users, you could measure users' metric by channel dimension, okay? Hang on to that thought for just 1 second. All right, so the 3 Google Analytics metrics that you should be tracking. Let me get another sip here as I keep going. And I realize a lot of you can't watch my videos live. I get it. 10 o'clock on a Saturday morning, you may be busy. You may have a life going on, and I certainly get that. But it doesn't mean that I won't talk to you. It doesn't mean that you can't ask me questions. All you got to do is post your comments in that comment section below. And I think almost, the way it's gone now is there's been so many lives over the past few years where people went live that most people see a live and they're like, oh, it's a live, I can go watch it later. But being on here live is really cool too, because we can converse, we can talk about stuff. The first metric that I want you to pay attention to is called users. Okay. Now, at the most basic level, you need to know if the marketing efforts are resulting in site growth. Users will tell you exactly that. The users metric in Google Analytics tells us how many of those unique visitors. When I say unique visitor, it's not somebody who visits 3 times. It's that unique visitor. In other words, that one person that a website received within a period of time and provides you a high-level view of whether marketing efforts are resulting in growth for your site. So to view your users by traffic source, what you want to do is you want to go into your Google Analytics, and yes, you have to set this up first, and there's plenty of videos on that, so I won't get into that. But you click on Life Cycle, then you click on Acquisition, and then you click on Traffic Acquisition Report, and you're going to see your analytics there. You got to set your date range, but let me pull this up here so you guys can see this. And I'm going to share my screen with you so I can show you one. This is not my analytics. This is just a sample of one. But let's take a look at it real quick. Share screen. All right. We're going to put entire screen, and we're going to allow it. So you guys see my screen now. So let's take a look at what that looks like. So that's what I've done here. I've gone into Lifecycle. I've gone into Acquisition, and then I clicked on Traffic Acquisition. So you can see organic search, you can see direct search, you can see referrals, you can see organic search, and you can see unassigned. Unassigned is like they just couldn't figure it out. They don't know what it is. But you can see, like on most sites, you're going to have the majority of your search is going to be organic search. So that's an example of that right there. All right, let me get back over here, and I'm going to unshare the screen here real quick, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about this analytic and some others. The report that you're going to see will automatically display the session default channel grouping. A default channel grouping is the marketing channel defined by Google Analytics and utilized by the new and returning users to arrive at your site or your app. For example, that screenshot I just showed you showed that they received 3,666 users from organic search in Q4 2021. Okay. And then we can go a little bit deeper. Let me share my screen again, and I'll show you a little bit deeper source of that. 1 second here, and you can see what this panel looks like. Let me share my screen, share screen. There we go. And we're going to share the entire screen, and boom. Okay, so you should see my screen again. Now, what I did is I clicked on it, and I looked at the session default channel grouping. And I looked at organic search here. Okay, so it shows 3,666 for that particular one. Over average, this is the average engagement time per session. Okay, on the far right, you see that there? So that's how much time they spent on there. So if you notice, the organic search is really at the top, then the direct drops down. So does referral, organic, social, and all that. But it's really good to get in here and look at some of these numbers and kind of figure out what's going on, because it'll help you with your marketing efforts. If you want to find the traffic source, you can add a secondary dimension by clicking on the blue plus sign next to the session default grouping and selecting session acquisition and session source. I can't talk. Session source. Okay, to see the percent change, you can add a comparison period on the top right. You can click on the date range drop down, and you can select custom date range for whatever quarter it is you're looking at. Which comparison period you should choose will depend on various factors, like how old the Google account is. If seasonality plays a role in your business, like our business is very seasonal, really. Most of our business is done between, say, October and March. That's not to say that we don't sell product year round, but that is a big time for us. Now, during the world illness, I think we still can't call it what it is, but during that, we were year round. We were really super busy. So you got to figure out which comparison period you want to choose based on how old your account is, seasonality, if the company is new to investing in the marketing channel. We choose different periods for this example because our site didn't have Google Analytics set up actually in the beginning, so we kind of watch it by that. So I want to show you another screenshot. Like if you go in there and you do what I just told you, this is the screen that you're going to get returned. Let me show you this one here so you can see it, give you an example of all this. There we go. 1 second, and I'll pop it up in there. What's up? There's Plucky Chickadee right there. She says, good morning. Good morning to you, man. Hey, Tyann, you're going to need this for your site. So watch this pretty closely. All right. So this is the chart that you're going to get on, or, if I wanted to go a little bit more in depth, and you can see I've got the date set up in there. Now, this is not my site. This is just an example. But you can see how much percent it went up or down. You can look at direct, you can look at referral, you can look at the percentage of change. All these things are important because they let you know if your marketing is going in the right direction. If it's not going in the right direction, all you got to do is make change. That's all you got to do. It's really that simple. So that's the chart there. Now, the next thing is important. Okay, now the first thing we looked at was users. Okay, how many users are we getting? The next thing we're going to look at is user engagement. Now, user engagement is really super important because if they come there and they don't do anything, it's not doing you any good. Now that you know where they're coming from, you need to understand what content they're engaging with and what fails to earn their attention, because you don't want to keep producing stuff that people aren't looking at, but you do want to produce more of what they are looking at. The average time or average engagement time will tell you the average length of time that the site has focus in the user's browser, meaning the user is most likely looking at it, okay? So by viewing this metric for different pages on the site, you can learn what articles to write more about, what videos to do, those with the highest engagement time, which articles require further analysis, or maybe you want to change them up a little bit. To view this, you're going to go to life cycle again, then you're going to go to engagement, then you're going to go pages and screens report. And I'm going to show it to you in just 1 second. And then what you want to do is set your desired date. Okay, so you want to pick the date, especially if you're doing some marketing campaign, you've just done it for the past 30 days. You don't want to look at the entire year. You want to see what it's done the past 30 days. You need to segment this data to just the traffic source that you're analyzing, okay? So take Google Organic. You can add a dimension by clicking add comparison in the top left corner, and then session source medium dimension, adding the Google Organic dimension values and removing all users by hovering over the text with the X. You can, and I'm going to show this to you in 1 second, so don't get lost. You can change how the data is displayed in the table by using the drop down arrow. If you prefer to see the page title, select page title, or if you want to know the URL, you can choose page path plus query string and screen class. And then lastly, you can click on the average engagement time column to sort the table from the highest to lowest, so you'll know which pages are really keeping them on your site. So in the example I'm going to show you, Google Organic Search users are interested in fixing GA4 missing or invalid ID errors and creating more content about GA errors. Okay, so let me pull this up so you can see it. You can see exactly what I'm talking about. There we go. Got it. Guys, have you done this? Put something in that comment section. Have you worked on this? Tyann says, let's see here. This is really cool. It is cool, but I know it's kind of, some of these things get complicated and almost boring, but man, they're so important. They really are. So you got to do them. So let's look at this one here, and let me take her comment off the screen there so you guys can see this. I want to make sure you can see it. There we go. So here's the pages that people went to, okay? And you can see I've sorted it by average percentage, okay? And then off to the right, you can see it's got how long they were on that page. So this first one, tracking form submission, 2 minutes, 55 seconds. I mean, that kills over all these other pages, right? But you also got to look at percent of total, and it's only 1. So the next page here, GA4 missing invalid ID fix, that got 62. Even though it's 1.29%, it got a minute 37 seconds. So that page there is operating really, really well. So that's something we want to do more of on that particular site. Let me pull me off the screen here. All right, got that down off of there. All right, so let's look at a couple other things here. And can you believe we're only down to two of these? Two, right? Two. I also have a screen for Hrefs, and we're getting ready to sign up with Hrefs or SEMrush. I'm not sure which I want to do, but you can also pull some of this data in some of these softwares. So let me let you see what Hrefs looks like. And I would say Hrefs is a really good one. SEMrush, and let me tell you the SEMrush. I researched it yesterday. SEM is search engine marketing. Rush stands for Russian. SEMrush is actually a company that was started by two Russian guys. Now I know we've got a lot of stuff going on in the world right now, and then you got to kind of say, well, do I want to deal with anybody who's Russian? And my answer is I need to look further. Both these guys who run SEMrush, and this is Hrefs you're seeing on the screen now, but both of the guys who run SEMrush have already denounced what's going on in Ukraine. Okay, they're against it. So I don't hold against somebody what their government is doing. Okay, and I don't think you should either, but that's certainly up to you. You got to make your own decisions. On this one here, it has matching terms. Okay, so it has plus Google Analytics error. And it has all the information off to the right there. So this is what the report looks like, and Hrefs. Okay, so if you didn't want to use SEMrush, you could use Hrefs. Let's see here. I have not done it yet, but I am working in a program called OMG Machines. I don't know that one. Tell me about that one. Put in there what OMG Machines is, and also put in there what the cost is. Tie in if you don't mind. That way people can see it. I know both Hrefs and SEMrush are anywhere from like $180 to $220 a month for their second level up. The base level is like $100 a month, something like that. But this, I mean, guys, I know none of you want to spend money. I know this. I don't want to spend money either. But spending money on some of these tools, I guess, is going to help your business, and it's going to grow your business much faster than if you did it yourself. So it is important that you invest a little bit of money in this stuff, okay? And then the last one we want to talk about, and I do want to cap this off with some information. So don't leave because you heard the last one is conversions. I do have some really good information for you to hang on to and to use. But the last one is conversions. Now, this is probably the most important metric you can have, because it's cool to know where people are coming from. It's cool to know if they're engaging, but if they don't convert, then that's a problem. Conversions are user activities that contribute to the success of your business. So a conversion in GA4 is equivalent to what we know as goal in Universal Analytics. To view the conversions report in GA4, all you got to do is open up that same thing I've been showing you, click on Lifecycle Engagement Conversions Report, and you'll see collected events automatically marked as conversions, and any event that you manually mark as a conversion, okay? And what is a conversion, guys? A conversion is when people do what you want them to do, okay? They opt in, they sign up for your webinar, they buy your product, whatever it is. And let me just show this to you on the screen so you can see it. Go there, and we're gonna go there, and we're gonna go there. I've got a lot of clicks to do, trust me on this one. Okay, so there it is. And keep those comments coming, guys. Put those comments in there, those questions in there. Be part of this. These people, and I can tell you Tyann and a whole bunch of other people that always comment all the time, they always move forward. They always get things done. They get things done because they're participating. If you sit back and you don't type anything into that box, and you don't like, and you don't comment, you're not involved. You've got to be involved in this stuff. Okay, so I've got it up on the screen now. It has got first visit here, conversions, okay? And you can see 237,458, and that's cash dollars, which is nice. Percent change is 118.9%, so it's up, which is a good thing. Event revenue on the far right, you can see that it's $923,996. Begin checkout. Okay, so you got first visit, and then the second metric is begin checkout. And you can see what's going on there. and that's gone up 7.73%. And then the actual purchase is up 158.6%. So this lets you know as you're going through each stage exactly what's going on, exactly what they're doing. Let's see here. It is an SEO software. I think it was $1,500 or $1,600 that I split over 4 months. Okay, that's not cheap. It's not cheap, but it could be a really, really good one. And I don't know it, but if it's working for you. And you know what? Here's the cool thing. You're doing something. So many people don't do anything. They don't do anything. I dropped my car off the other day to have some work done on it. And I asked him to do some repairs. And the guy didn't write it down. He did some other repairs that were very expensive, but he didn't write it down. And he didn't do it. And when I came back, he said, oh yeah, you said you weren't sure if you wanted to do that. I said, well, no, I'm paying you $3,200 for these repairs right now on my car. Why would I not want to do that? And then he says, oh yeah, you said you didn't want to pay for the diagnostics on it. I'm like, well, no, you're making all this up. None of this happened. You forgot to do it. You forgot to write it down. Why in the world would I pay you $3,200 to fix my car and say I don't want to pay for diagnostics on one of the things I thought was wrong? Why would I do that? Wouldn't make sense. But a lot of people just don't do anything. They don't do anything. Okay. They sit back and they watch other people and they talk about how they're mistreated and they talk about how unfortunate they are when in fact they're not doing anything. Okay. I do admire those people. I probably can't say anything about Ukraine, but I'm going to say it. I do admire those people in that country. They are badass. I mean, they really are. These people are tougher than tough. They've all gotten together. They've all done something. If they had sat back and said, oh no, we've got these invaders coming. We're doomed. They would have been doomed, but they aren't doomed, and the whole world got behind them. So it's pretty interesting when you do something. And this is my little spiel at the end, I guess. But when you do something, other people see that you're doing something. Other people want to participate when they see you're doing something. It's so funny. I do this thing called Friday lunch. And I go out to lunch with my wife and we post pictures and all that. And I have a large group of people that every Friday show up for that. And they like it and they comment on it. And one person's already starting their own Friday lunch. And the thing I put at the top is it says, Friday lunch. Okay, A and then H, Friday lunch. And I have other people doing the same thing now on their Facebook because they saw me doing it. So guys, whatever it is that you do out there, make sure that you're putting forth some effort. Once again, put some more comments in there. Would love to see it. But put forth some effort. You got to do it. Tyann says, and by the way, guys, I'm calling her Tyann because that's her name. That's just the name of her channel there. True, not cheap, but the training with it. Okay, it's got training there. That's invaluable. And the speed it works at, I think it's worth it for what I could offer my clients. Very cool, very cool. She's proactive. Are you proactive, guys? Ask yourself, are you doing stuff like this? Are you getting more training? I love it when I see people who've been doing stuff online for a long time, they go get more training. I get more training. I just paid a bunch of money for learning how to do videos from Casey Neistat. And I've paid a bunch of money for doing ads. I paid a bunch of money for digital marketing stuff. And I train people and I charge people, but I also get trained too, because I can't sit in my own little ecosystem and just know what I know. There's always more information out there to gather, guys. There's more information to learn. And you guys showing up for this, I mean, that's great. That's great that you're doing that, because that's more than what most people do. Most people don't show up. They go, oh, it's the weekend. It's the weekend, so I'm just going to lay back and do nothing. Guys, I don't work 12, 14 hours a day every single day. I have, and I will in the future, and I don't have to. Okay? A lot of people say, well, you have to do this. I don't have to do. You don't have to do anything. Bottom line is, I do it because I like doing it and I want to move forward and I want to see some advancement. Okay. I want to see some success. And that's motivating to me. When I see a little bit of success, that's really motivating to me. And it will be to you too, if you participate. Once again, you've got to participate. If you haven't commented yet in that chat section, do so. If you're watching this video and it's after the fact, okay, so it's not live anymore, comment in the comment section, okay? Put something down there. Get involved. This is the way you're going to get ahead. The more you participate, the more you do, the more success you're going to see. Let's see here. What is Tyann got to say? My girl. Ongoing learning is such a must. It is. And think of it this way, guys. I like that comment by her. Think of it this way. Things change every day. So whatever you learned last year, they've probably added to it. They probably improved on it. They probably have more stuff. And if you don't add to it, if you don't change, if you don't learn more, you're going to be left behind. Learning never stops until you're dead. When you're dead, you can quit learning. And that's not a problem. That's not, you go ahead, quit. But as long as you're alive, you've got to keep learning this stuff, guys. You got to keep participating. You gotta do this. So important. Now, if you have any other comments or questions, please put them in the chat box right there. We're at what, 10:25. So, we got 2-3 minutes. I can talk to you guys. And it can be anything about, starting, running, and growing online businesses. Let me get a sip. That's some good tea. That's some chai tea from HEB. If you've ever been to Texas, you would know HEB. HEB owns the grocery store market. Holy crap, they're everywhere. They're just unbelievable how many places, how many HEBs there are in the state. They're just everywhere. But don't forget, put those comments in there, questions, whatever it is, and let me know what you're doing. I tell you, another thing that will keep you doing something is when you tell other people what you're doing. You just share with them what you're doing. I've done that with books and courses I'm working on, and I have people remind me, have you finished that book? Have you finished that course? And I'm still working on a lot of that stuff, but it keeps me reminded. It's not so that you can brag about what you're doing. It's so that you can share so that other people will reinforce your actions. That's so very important, guys. Been a great session today. I don't know what your weather's like where you've been. Last night it got down to 27 here, which is pretty darn cold. Today's up to 58, and Monday we're going to be up to 80. So we're going to go from 27 on Friday night to 80 on Monday. What are you going to do? That's the weather, right? That's what it does. It kind of flips back and forth. Don't forget, guys, in case you didn't remember, this is the weekend where we change to daylight savings time. Really important that you do that. And I'll give you a little story. You want a story about daylight savings time? A lot of people have a lot of ideas about how that started, but it was actually started by an etymologist in New Zealand who realized, and he wrote a paper on it, that he could get more bugs, collect more bugs if he had more daylight. So he was the big person to do that. And I think it was around 1918 we started to do it in the US, and then we quit it in 1919, and then we went back and forth, and by I think it was 64, 65, we went nationwide with daylight savings time. And that's going to change Sunday at 2 a.m. And the reason they do Sunday at 2 a.m., in case you don't know this, is because they didn't want to have the time change mess up all of the trains that were running in the US. And at 2 a.m. in the US, there were no trains running. So they said that would be a good time to change the time. So that's your little factoid today. She says, Tyann says, I do my own business because I need the time and freedom. Yes, I agree. I feel the same way. I support myself with my part-time job of caregiving. July is when I open my business doors. I haven't gotten far. Yes, you have. Yes, you have. You've gotten real far because you've done more than most people will ever do. And keep that in your mind. Keep that in your mind. You are doing stuff. Haven't gotten far, but I will before it is a year. You're doing great. You've gotten so much further than anybody else. Most people quit within a week. Okay, so if you started yours in July, that means you're almost a year into it. And whatever you got accomplished is where you are, and that's fine. Okay, there is no rules to this. There is no requirements to this. The only requirement is that you keep working on it. And if you keep working on it, you're going to be fine. Trust me. If you keep showing up for these training sessions and you keep, adding softwares and learning stuff and you don't quit. I know my first year I lost money. I lost a bunch of money. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. But now we earn millions a year. So you just stick with it. Just stick with it, guys. I can be sitting in bed in the morning and be scrolling through my phone and looking and seeing that I'm making money. Let me see here. Did I make any money since I've been talking to you guys in the past 30 minutes? Let's see if I made any money. I did not. Okay. But sometimes I do within a 30-minute period of time. I know the other night I sat on my couch and I watched sales come in, and it was like over $6,000 or $7,000 while I was watching one show. Okay. That didn't include the whole day. That was just while I was watching one show. That feels pretty good, but that's all the effort I put into it for the past 12, going on 13 years now. All right, guys, I really appreciate you being here. Like I said, add questions, add comments to this, especially if you're not watching live. Give me a thumbs up if you would. Hit that subscribe button, turn it from red to gray, and ring the bell. Turn all bell notifications so you're notified each and every time I go live. I really appreciate each and every one of you. I love you very much. Okay, you're doing okay. Think about where you're at. Think about how lucky you are. because you are lucky. I don't know anything about you personally, but I know I'm talking to some people out there who don't feel like they're lucky, and you are lucky. Don't tell yourself you're not lucky. Don't tell yourself that you have bad luck. Don't tell yourself that bad things happen, because they don't. Okay, everything happens for a reason, and a lot of times those things that seem like they're bad are actually good things in disguise. Neil Brown, what's up, buddy? I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you so much for commenting. He says, great training. I had a pretty good Saturday morning. I'm glad to hear that, man. I really am. And I love meeting you guys. He says, I accomplished a YouTube video, finished and published a blog post, and did my morning posting on social media. Buddy, I appreciate that. Thank you so much for sharing that, because what you're doing is obviously good for you, but it's good for other people when you share it. They go, wow, Neil Brown got up and he did these things here. What am I doing? What am I doing with my life right now? Did I waste another day, or did I get something done? Thank you, Neil, and you are appreciated. I can guarantee you that, buddy. You really are. Thank you for being here. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and there you go. Tyann says, look at this, Neil. Neil, check it out. Check it out, buddy. Great work, Neil Brown. So she's watching you too. You are inspiring people by not only doing, but sharing what you do, okay? That's what this social media really is all about, guys. We don't want to hear about how great you are and any of that stuff. We want to hear about what you did. We want to hear about your life and what direction you're heading and, what you're trying to get accomplished. That's what everybody really wants. They want to be part of your world. And I certainly want to be part of your world. You're getting out there working, so thanks for being part of my world too. Guys, you have a great day. I'm going to go ahead and slide out of here. We're heading over to Texas Roadhouse today. Going to get us a steak. Thank you so much. I appreciate every one of you guys. I really do. You guys have an awesome day.